What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Today we have my man Jay Sinister in the building. Let me put him up in here. We have RC Cave Studio, and we also have a special guest tonight. And our special guest is Nitro Freak.
Nitro.
What's up, y'all?
What up? What up?
Chilling.
What's going on, everybody?
Good, man. What's
Preparing
happening
for the
with
holidays, man.
Getting to be that time.
you? Yes, it
We
is.
all
Oh,
we
thank you,
also
buddy.
have
Oh,
also
thank you,
have
buddy.
a special giveaway tonight coming
Okay.
from RC Cave Studios and Mr. Mitos. So they got a giveaway that they giving away tonight. Mr. Mitos can be with us tonight. Send prayers out to his family, man. He's going through something right now, but
Most
just let him know
definitely.
that he's in our prayers, man, and send some prayers out to him. But they're gonna do a giveaway tonight on behalf of RC Cave Studios. So he's gonna take over on that.
Yeah.
So you want to do it now or towards the end?
No, I got time. I'm here. I'm here chilling with y'all guys.
All right, cool. Hey, let's go ahead as Icons normally does and hit them shout outs in the comments. Got Raymond E. Tanner in the house. Gucci Skunk, what's happening? The Germ, Bucks RCs, Lee G, Guru's in the house. Who else we got? Did I miss anybody, Icons?
Yeah, you missed Kurt's RC, RC Hobby
Oh, there's
Film,
Kurt. Yep.
RC Hobby Films, Kurt's RC. Who else we got in the building?
Aiden Ortiz.
Aiden Ortiz, RC Cave Studio, which we got him on the board, but he's out there
You can't
in
be
the
double
testing
dipping for
field.
credit, man.
Hey, man, I'm not. I'm trying to, cause I. Stop putting
We
me on
al-
the spot.
we also have Papa Smurf in the building too. Don't forget about Papa Smurf.
See, I asked you last week not to go there. See, there you go. That's why.
You knew
You
I
know
was
what? I'm
gonna
just
do
gonna,
it. You knew
gonna
I was
have my
gonna do
drink
it.
and
This is
just, you
what
know
we.
what?
This is what. Hey man, that's one of the mason jars, man. What you
That's
got in
right.
there?
That's
Is that Kool-Aid?
can't tell you what's in
No,
there. You never tell what you're drinking. That's against the
no.
rules.
Oh,
It's that grown up Kool-Aid.
That's right. That's right.
hmm
that
Ain't
grown
nothing
up
cool
Kool-Aid.
about it. Ain't a damn
There's
thing cool about it.
there's cheese around there.
So Nitro
There's
Freak,
Wow.
wine, cheese, and crackers.
what's going on with you, Nitro Freak? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, sir.
That's good. That's good, man. So tell us what got you started into Nitros?
Hey, but before you do that, I just want to say it's good to have you here, my man. It's
I
good to
appreciate it.
have
I appreciate it.
someone outside of the electric field, on the board with us. So that's cool.
Yeah, us Nitro guys lately, we're always getting forgot about, seeing as how the world's transitioning heavy into the electric side. And you guys know how that is with anything else. You
Right.
stay up with the latest and greatest technology. As much as us Nitro guys hate to admit it, electric anymore nowadays is where it's at, especially for the younger generation coming into the hobby. Is one thing I've learned just in the time that I've been doing Nitro, and look at the amount of people that are into electric this day and age. You look at specifically the school systems. I don't know how it is like when you guys were younger going to school, but you used to have automotive shop. You had all the technical classes that you could go to learn internal combustion engines. Doesn't seem to have a lot of that in the school systems today. So I think that's one of the big things that pushes a lot of people out of the Nitro side of the hobby. If you don't know nothing about engines, it's very complicated for them. And when you're dealing with a hobby that's supposed to be fun, they like that instant, playtime. Just go charge up a battery, throw it in, and you're out ripping. You don't have all
Right.
the pre-checks and all the other stuff you got to do with a Nitro. But me, to answer the question, what got me started in the Nitro, because to be honest, when I very first got into the hobby in the mid 80s, I believe it or not, I was an electric guy. Back from the Tamiya days, one of my
Hmm.
very first platforms that I ever had, I had the Lunchbox, I had the Blackfoot, I had the Barefoot, and I also had the Gravedigger, I think it was. And those were kind of like platforms. I remember getting one for Christmas, and then throughout the next couple of years, it was just a bunch of neighborhood kids. We were trading RCs amongst of ourselves of what others had. And just, after we had an RC that our parents got us, we'd have it for 5-6 months, and the neighbors' kids down the street would get a new one. They'd get bored with theirs. We'd get bored with ours, and we'd swap off for a different platform. And that's really how I got started in the hobby, was primarily electric. They definitely were nowhere near what they are today. Everything was brushed engines before all this brushless stuff came out. Back when the Novak ESCs were around, the Tekin old school stuff, all that. Most of the electric stuff that I was into back then, most of them companies aren't even around anymore. They've all shut their doors and, discontinued a lot of their stuff. But as a young kid, I was big into motocross racing. So I started riding dirt bikes when I was I think I was like 5.5, just about to turn 6. And my whole background was pretty much motocross racing. So I always loved the smell of the fuel, the thrill of the roaring engine and all that. And I did that. I raced motocross probably almost 29.5 years, but it wasn't probably till I want to say about 87, 88. The first Nitro I got was a Cox Nitro on-road car. And I got that for Christmas. And the first time I ran it, I just fell in love with it. I played with that thing till the damn wheels fell off. In fact, my parents, boy, they're like, yeah, we're buying too much of this fuel. It was like, man, I was going through the fuel like crazy. It's always, hey, Mom, Dad, I need some more fuel. It's like, man, we just bought a bunch of it, 3 days ago.
Yeah.
Done burnt it up because all the neighborhood kids wanted to play with it because back then the nitros that are around today, it's not how it was back then. You had mainly the small Cox stuff, which was a different animal of nitro. But started out doing all that stuff, and then played around with some more electrics, and then it wasn't till after I graduated high school and joined the military. One of my very first duty stations was Korea, and right out of basic and AIT, I got stationed in Korea, and over in Korea, RC racing was a very, very big thing. Like that's what every teenager did on their downtime. And that's when I started really getting to see a lot of the nitro stuff that was out there. And I bought 2 nitros while I was over there. It was just a year tour, so I ran them for a year, sold them to another guy in the barracks when I was leaving because I didn't want to have to ship them back to the U.S.
Where were you based at? Where were you stationed? Camp
I was there three different times. The very first time I was there, I was down in Camp Coiner in Seoul.
Okay.
I also spent some time up on the JSA at Camp Warrior. Mm-hmm. That was the second time. And then the third time I was there, I was in Camp Walker in Taegu.
Okay. I did a year in Kunsan. That's about the most time I did. Yeah. Down by
you had Osan. Yeah. We used to go to Osan Air Base a lot. And then you had Kunsan. I think Kunsan was the smaller Air Force base.
Yeah. Kunsan was low key. We had all F-16s, and then Osan had the A-10s. And I would go up to Osan on the weekends because there wasn't nothing to do on Kunsan. It was like backwards.
That's what we did a lot on the weekends. We'd go to Osan because that's where all the females were.
Oh yeah, most definite.
Everybody wanted to go to Osan Air Base.
Right.
Yeah. So I did. So really, and that was the very first time that I would say that I had an actual hobby grade nitro, and it was a Habeo that I had. I actually had 2 of them, 2 buggies, and then I come back stateside, and when I came back stateside, I was doing a lot of TDY and stuff, so the RC hobby kind of got put on hold. And then I ended up when I came back stateside, I was stationed at Fort Drum, New York. And I was there for 3 years, but that was a light infantry division, which was very highly deployable. So we were gone back and forth to Kosovo when Kosovo was going on hot and heavy back then. So kind of had to put the hobby on hold for a while, and then I ended up going to Germany. And then when I went to Germany, I picked up another Nitro while I was there for 2 years. And then I came back stateside, was back stateside for a year. And then I ended up going over into Japan. And when I went over into Japan, it's like that's all everybody did was Nitro. Like I thought Korea was big, you know, with the Korean nationals doing Nitro. The Japanese, boy, that's like pretty much where everything is made, marketed, and all that. And that's where, to me, what I would call the home of Nitro, really where it all started. So when I was over there, I got really hot and heavy into it. Then I ended up leaving there, coming back stateside, and then ended up coming here to Fort Bragg. And when I got here to Fort Bragg, little did I know that's right when, 9/11 kicked off. So then Afghanistan happened. So then I was in and out of Afghanistan, didn't have no time to do the hobby because I was deployed. Did a few tours in Afghanistan, came back. Then the Iraq War was kicking off, and really up until the time, I think maybe like a year, it's about a year and a half before I retired, is when I picked back up the hobby again. And then when I finally retired, that was kind of pretty much the time to say, what am I going to do with myself? I knew I wasn't ever going to work again. Being retired, I had a lot of time on my hands. So that's when I really, really started getting hot and heavy into the Nitro stuff. And then it was pretty much just bashing them, running them up and down the streets, racing them against other people, just for the fun of it. And then I think shortly after that, it was about another year later, is when I finally started my YouTube channel. I don't know if most people know, like my YouTube channel has only been out a little over 2 years.
Okay.
So once I started doing YouTube, it's kind of really when I just pretty much formed my channel just around the Nitro hobby, just to show everybody, what I was doing, the hobby and stuff. And even when I started my YouTube had been around for years before I started mine. I really didn't know what YouTube was until my daughter had mentioned that, she's like, hey, with all that cool RC stuff you got, there's a platform on the internet that you could make videos and put that stuff on there to share it with people. Because I was always, old school. I didn't get involved in social media, mainly because of what my job was in the military. Social media was kind of like a big no-no, or at least talking about what you did and where you'd been and all that stuff. And like I said, it wasn't until after I was done and out and pretty much free to do what I want and be me is when I really started picking up the hobby hot and heavy, got involved in the YouTube. Primarily started as a basher, and then I kind of got bored with the bashing stuff after a little bit and started dabbling in the racing side of the house, which that was another whole new venture for me, which I really, really loved because I was always, big into drag racing cars and motocross racing and all that stuff. And, being overseas, seeing how big of a venue it was, with the RC racing, I wanted to try my hand at that, started doing that, did fairly well in it. I mean, I don't race nonstop, mainly just because with racing, it gets very, very expensive on the Nitro side of the house. Personally, I think it's a lot cheaper.
And it gets competitive.
Electrics. Say it again.
It gets competitive too. Too much.
It does. It does. Pretty much like, when I started racing, I'm already in my 40s and I'm, racing against guys that are, 20 years younger than me, 30 years younger than me, that, as you get older, your reaction time and your eyesight starts to fade away and everything. You can't compete against these teenage kids or even the guys in their 20s, that have been doing it a hell of a lot longer than me. But you know,
I
when
think
I
that, oh,
when I
sorry
when
about
I
that.
started racing, it wasn't those things. I didn't have that idea. It's like, you know, I want to be the next Adam Drake or Mayfield. There wasn't going to be no major sponsors on my horizon, especially at my age. It was basically just going out to do it, to have fun, to see where I stacked up in the field.
Right.
I've been out to a couple drag spots, well, drag races out here in Indiana because it's big. And even though I'm young at heart, I when I went out there, there's been a lot of older people like in pushing almost 60, and
Yeah,
they just so they just strictly to their own rules. They do not budge, and some of them just they don't like that. Yeah, I was naive to be honest. To be honest with you, I bring my 4x4 buggy to a drag race, thinking it was different. The environment was totally different. I was just like, okay, this is not my scenery. I love the cars, but the people there, it's just all about win, 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 and it was just like, oh, okay, let me go do something else real quick, because it was just too much testosterone for me. I
you know,
had
I'll
my
be
friend
honest.
with me
It
too.
was probably about 7-8 months ago. I remember talking on my channel where I'd been doing the Nitro for so long. I wanted to try something different within the RC hobby. And that was right around where the no prep drag racing was starting to hit the scene and was becoming really, really big. And I had almost gone out and bought one of the low C 69 Camaros that they released. And I wanted to play around with that. I never ended up buying it for one simple fact. There's no disrespect to any of the guys that do it, but in my area here where I live is exactly what you just said and how you worded it. So before I went out and started investing in all the electric stuff in a platform, I went to start checking out some of these no prep races that they were having locally here in my city. Now, granted, I know it's different everywhere, so you got to kind of adapt to what's going on in your neighborhood if you want to get into that aspect of the hobby and that type of racing. I didn't get a very, very good vibe from the scene around here when I went to see it a few times. Now, since then, it has gotten better from what I hear from other friends. But when I first started going out there and watching this no prep stuff, that's kind of how it was. Everybody was really gung ho on winning. They didn't like
Yeah,
the they didn't like the new
yeah,
guys coming in off the street, invading their territory. You know, I took that as, you know, maybe they were nervous in some way that I might be faster than one of them, and they've been doing it longer. And, you know, that happens a lot. Sometimes you got the new guy that comes onto the scene, and you know they're dominating every race. And some of the when you have your own little clique of guys that grew up together, race together, you know, they're a pretty tight knit group and they want to stay within themselves. And that's kind of what was happening around here. And that kind of is what pushed me out of getting into the no prep stuff, because I had no intentions of wanting to travel to like no prep races, you know, to do it, you know, nonstop. I wanted to do it just because I'd always drag race real cars. I love the thrill of lining up next to somebody and hey, you shoot it out the hole and see who's first to the finish line, you know, run what you brung, plain and
yeah.
simple. But a lot of the group of guys around here, they were just so competitive. Like if you wanted to race somebody, it was kind of like when the whole trend of street outlaws started and everything. You didn't come to race for free. It cost you anywhere from 500 to a stack to get in on their race. And I'm like, no, man. I was like, I ain't trying to bet big money. I just want to run with you guys. I just want to get competitive and, you know, race other guys' cars for the fun of it. You know, I'm not doing it for money. And a lot of them, you know, they didn't agree with that. And they had a lot of rules that just didn't make sense to me. And, you know, I was like, well, I kind of shot that aspect of the hobby down. I still want to get one of those no prep cars, just to have one, put it up on the shelf, and maybe just, you know, do
I'm
test runs in the street by myself. Maybe get my grandson into it when he gets a little bit older. But as far as getting into the whole competition thing on the electric side, I just realized it wasn't for me.
yeah. I think I'm gonna get into it because I got the Vendetta, and man, I'm thinking of beefing it up and putting a 6S system in it, and yeah, I know there's a lot of drag races, but they're 2S. I wouldn't mind putting 2S on that thing. But yeah, now that I've got the feel for now that I've got one, because I've had a Limitless, but again, this is when I started and I broke it, so it was a lot of trial and error. But now that I
Oh
have
yeah,
one, now
especially with the no prep drag race and stuff. That when you get into the no prep, especially if you're going to be competitive, it's not like being an everyday basher. You actually have to invest time to get your car to go straight, to hook up, to launch quick out of the hole, and all that. You can't just expect to take a platform out of the box, throw a big motor in it, a 2 or 3S battery, and think that you're going to go out there and hang with the big boys, because it definitely doesn't work that way. But if you're going to do it for fun, you just have fun doing it. But the crowd that I have around here, they're not.
they don't
like
want to
that.
do it for fun. Out here, they don't want to do it for fun.
Yeah,
Nobody,
nobody does around here. They're like
nobody wants to do it for fun no
they're
more.
very, very
That's the problem.
serious. Yeah, they're
That's the
very
problem.
serious about it out
Hey,
here. They don't play around.
Big shout out to everybody that's joining the chat, man.
Most
Shout out to
definite.
Bucks RC. Shout out to Trail Crawlers. Shout out to who else did I just seen in there? Mr. Free Time, my brother. Shout out to you.
Got
Who
Black
else?
Wolf.
Black
Black
Wolf. Shout
Wolf
out
is
to
in
Black
here.
Wolf.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you, Black Wolf, for joining. Hey, make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, man, to get the video out there, to get the live out there. And I might be doing a giveaway myself with a low-C drag car. You never know.
What?
I might be giving that away. So I'll update y'all in the near future about that one.
So I need to enter that one for real.
So,
Yeah, me too.
All them cars you got back there, I need something from you. So Nitro, let me ask you this: thinking back 8 decades ago when you was a kid. Damn, nobody got that joke. My bad. Anyway, thinking back to when you was a kid,
I got it.
8 decades ago. Come on now.
8 decades
When you
ago, Jesus
when
Christ,
you
Nitro,
first,
how old are you, man?
I know, man. When you first started working on Nitros as a kid, and you built your first one, broke your first one, put it back together. Anything that you learned from that time frame is still relevant today, that you still find yourself doing?
Yeah, a lot of it is. And I'll be honest, like myself, and I'm sure a lot of others that have been, have ever messed with Nitro, you make a lot of mistakes. You break a lot of stuff.
Right.
Because, back when I first got into it, YouTube wasn't around. Okay. You didn't have the social media back then that you have today. Pretty much for the guys that really want to get into Nitro today, they would actually have it a lot easier, because it's like with anything else. There is a YouTube video for everything in the hobby, whether it be boats, planes, drones, 5th scale, A scale, 10 scale carpet, the no prep drag racing. Everybody's done a video on every aspect of every different platform, every motor, every ESC, every Nitro engine, you name it, it's out there. Us older guys that were doing it back in the 80s and stuff, there wasn't YouTube around. You didn't have videos to go watch. We had the magazines where you could look at some stuff and learn about some of the stuff, but it really didn't teach you anything technical. But the good thing is, like me, where I grew up, most of the crowd of kids that I hung out with, we were all big gearheads. We were into 4-wheelers and 3-wheelers and dirt bikes and snowmobiles and muscle cars. So we had some kind of mechanical background. We knew how to work on stuff. And if you could understand chainsaw engine, a weed eater, a car, lawnmower, what have you, you kind of had a little bit of an idea of how the internal combustion engine worked, how a carburetor worked,
Sure,
how you had to sink needles to get it to run, set your idle, and you just kind of took that and ran with it from there. Now, granted, a lot of the stuff back then was a lot cheaper. It wasn't expensive as it is today. You didn't have a lot of the radical powerhouse, Nitro engines and all the crazy stuff that's around today. But everything I did back then, and I'm not going to lie, I broke a lot of stuff just, experimenting with stuff or pushing stuff past its limits of what it could handle. Most everybody knows, if you've seen my YouTube videos, when I run my stuff, I don't baby my stuff. I'm probably one of the few people out there that when I do a video, you'll hear me in the beginning of the video with a new platform or a new fist scale. And I always say, we're just going to do a light shakedown run, wear it in, and I'll be out there full bore, hitting the jump, sending it off of dirt berms and, wrecking it, flipping it over and crashing it. Everyone's like, well, I thought you were going to be easy with it. And, I got to tell everybody, hey, I'm going to find out how durable it is within the first 10 minutes that I run the damn thing. It's either going to sink or swim, plain and simple. But I messed up a lot of stuff back in the day. And I can honestly say, when you're having to pay for that yourself, because, I didn't come from a wealthy family. So a lot of the stuff that I had come from lawn mowing jobs that I did when I was a kid, paper routes. I worked on other kids' ATVs in the neighborhood and earned money that way. And that's what went to fund my motocross racing on the weekends. And then during the work after school, when I was playing with the RCs, that's how I bought my engines and my own parts and all that stuff. But I was always one of those people that was always intrigued by any kind of engine
Mechanical.
anything mechanical. I would sit there and take everything apart down to the last piece, and in the hopes of putting it all back together, that it still ran, making sure I didn't mess anything up. And I always had a good knack for that. There wasn't nothing, even at my age today, from when I was a young kid, I've always had a fascination with, turning wrenches on everything. There wasn't nothing that I couldn't fix on a car, a lawnmower, anything that had a petroleum burning engine. I could fix it and make it run. I could bring it back from the dead. And that was always one of the skills that I was always thankful for, growing up having, which for me, being in the hobby of doing Nitro and now presently doing the fifth scale stuff, made it a lot easier for me. And that's kind of what I was saying earlier. That's not the case with a lot of the people today trying to get into Nitro, because a lot of them start out electric and they love how a Nitro sounds. They see everybody has one, and naturally everybody wants to try one. So they go out and buy one, but they have absolutely zero skills on carburetors or engines and all that. And most of them, it's either asking a friend or they're trying to watch YouTube. And I kind of use that whole term, loosely when I say there's a YouTube video for everything out there, because we all know not everybody that puts out a video on YouTube, it's teaching you the right way. Correct. There's a lot of people on YouTube that are out there just for the fame and the recognition, and they're all about themselves. They're not about the hobby. And that's when, like myself, when I first started doing YouTube and I would show anything technical on Nitro, I always tell everybody, I'm not here to teach anybody anything. I'm here to help you if I can. And I don't know everything. I consider myself a newbie from day one and still a newbie today, because everything, every day, every month, every year is constantly changing. There's always something new coming out. You're not always going to know everything about every new product that comes out unless you buy it, study it, play with it, tear it down, put it back together, learn how it works to say that you have the skills. So when you watch a lot of YouTubers out there, you'll see that a lot of times, I don't really see it in the electric side of the house like I do on the Nitro, but I see, there's too many people out there that make videos on Nitro stuff that just shouldn't make videos. And
they do it on the electric side.
Yeah. I'm not very familiar on the electric side like you guys are. So I can only speak from the Nitro side of the house. And like I said, I'm sure it happens on the electric side as well. You've always got those people that everybody thinks they're going to be somebody, new, great, and up and coming just because they have a YouTube channel and can show what they do. But a lot of times, if you have, a lot of the stuff is common sense. That's kind of really the big thing that I want to put out there. If you really think about what you're doing when you're working on your platform, whether it be Nitro or electric, most people can figure out right from wrong, what to do, what not to do. And when you see other people's videos, it's like, okay, you're doing it this way, but
Right.
there's a much better way of doing it, safer. You know, I've seen people make videos that if a new guy coming into the hobby was to go watch some of these videos, it would cost them money, because if they were trying to
Oh, yeah.
replicate what this person was doing, you'd probably end up blowing up your engine, or your platform would fall apart or whatever. So that's always one of the big things that I always like to tell everybody, because I get asked that question a lot. How easy is it to get into Nitro, coming from, you know, somebody that's never messed with it, and I decided I wanted to get into Nitro? How hard or how easy it is to do? And like I tell everybody, there's plenty of people like myself and others out there that are willing to help. We don't want anything in return. We're not charging you to do it. We don't want nothing from you. We'll help you to have a better, you know, experience in the hobby. But me, if I'm going to help somebody do something, I'm going to do it the correct way as I feel. Now, I always make that statement: what works for me may not work for you.
Work for you. That's
Yeah,
right.
because I have tried to help people in the past, and they kind of wanted to contradict everything that I taught them. Be like, well, I watch so-and-so's YouTube and this is how they're doing it. And it's like, okay, well, look, you asked me for help. I'm going to help you. Yeah, obviously, if you watch my channel, you know all my stuff runs good. It runs well. Nothing breaks. Nothing falls apart. I have a little bit of knowledge of what I'm doing here. What someone else is doing out there, that might not be the case. You know, that might be what cost you of having an engine that lasts 8 gallons or lasts 8 minutes. You know,
Right.
not everybody out there has the same skill. You know, it's just one of them things you got to kind of pick and choose on YouTube of who you watch. And as the days go by and the months go by, it's more apparent to figure out who's worth watching and who's not, who you can learn from. You know, there's a lot of people out there with years and years of knowledge in the hobby, from Nitro, electric, fifth scale, all that. And like I tell everybody, you ask me a question, I'm not going to fake the funk to make myself look good and try to answer it. If I don't know and I can't help you, I'm going to just tell you straight out, I don't have an answer for you. I've never come across that issue. I can't help you, but I will do my damnedest to contact some of my other boys that have been doing it longer than me, that I know I can always get you the help you need and the right answer that you're looking for. And that's pretty much what I strive to do.
Nitro Freak, what's your favorite electric RC, or before, or looking to get into the future?
You know, that's a hard question for me to answer. And the reason why I say that is, a couple of months ago, I was trying to take the turn and get up to date on all this electric stuff. I do have an infraction. That is probably the best and fastest electric RC that I own right now, which technically it's actually not even mine anymore. It's going to Joe Girding now. But I was going to try to get into the whole electric thing, and I decided for a long, long time, I always wanted to try and start doing the fifth scale stuff. And I come across a really good friend of mine that donated a fifth scale to me. I started playing with it and running it, and I fell absolutely in love with the fifth scale stuff. So naturally, the whole idea of wanting to get into the electric kind of went out the door. I just never pursued it anymore, being, you know, the big gearhead that I am, and loving the big engines and the sound and the exhaust and all that. It's like, I figured if I'm going to take the next step into the hobby and even remotely try to do fifth scale, that's where all the money's going to have to go. I wouldn't be able to try to juggle doing the no prep stuff, getting into all the high end electric stuff, and trying to do the fifth scale stuff at the same time. And on the back end, still trying to maintain and stay up with all the, you know, the Nitro stuff that I do, which is kind of funny, because really, is, as much as I hate to say it, my root starting on YouTube being, you know, in Nitro, and I've been doing Nitro for years now, even with my Nitro stuff, has really taken the back seat to the fifth scale stuff, which, I apologize to, a lot of my subscribers. Cause like I said earlier on, a lot of guys, they're not everybody's in the fifth scale. And I know earlier before we went live, I was talking with Icons, and we kind of got on the conversation. I've actually had people say, as much as I hate to say it, Nitro Freak, I really don't watch your channel anymore because I'm not interested in the fifth scale stuff. And that's kind of where, all your videos are geared towards the fifth scale. We would all much like it better if you brought back the Nitro. Like I said, the Nitro's not dead. It's coming back. I just wanted to do a change. And to be honest, I've fallen a lot more in love with the fifth scale stuff than I ever thought I would. Even now, after the new build that I just finished, which is just ungodly insane, really pushed me over that edge where, I'm going to get even deeper into the fifth scale stuff. But the Nitro stuff is not going to go away. We are going to start coming out with more Nitro content. I am going to start putting out more videos. The only downside is whatever thoughts I had of trying to get on the competitive side with the electrics right now is not going to happen. Not to say that it won't happen, later on down the road, because that's a possibility. With me, right, is one thing everybody will learn. I'm constantly changing my mind on what I want to do. One day I'm heavily into the Nitros, then one day I want to do the gas powered boats, then I throw that idea away, then I want to get into the electric speed run stuff. And, then I get out of the, the idea of wanting to do the no prep and the speed run stuff. And then I get into the physical stuff. And pretty much what I've had to do really, and one thing I've always tried to do, everybody knows nowadays, everything that you do in this hobby is costly. Nothing in the RC hobby is cheap.
Nope.
So one thing that's one thing I more and more now than I ever have before. When I get questions asked, what's better should I do? Should I do the fifth scale? Should I do, A scale racing or Nitro or electric? And usually what I tell them, and this is kind of what I've had to do myself, do something that you love to do, but also do something where you have local hobby shops that support what you're doing. And what I mean by that is, like, for me, fifth scale is not a big thing where I live. I love it. And that's, I'm really good at doing it because I know two-stroke engines very, very well. So it comes natural and easy to me messing with any kind of RC that has an engine. But now,
I got
even though the fifth scale is not real huge, we don't have a lot of hobby shops that sell fifth scale stuff. Everything I get, I've got to order offline through whether it be RC Max, Detroit Performance, DDM, Bonehead RC, and the list goes on. Just like when a lot of guys always asking, well, what brand platform should I get if I get into Nitro? And usually I tell them, whatever is the most popular in your area, that's probably what I would go with. So you have the parts support, you have the hobby shop support. You'll find, and I've done this myself. I mean, I can only speak for myself, so I'm really not trying to, pinpoint others, but I found it not fun if I'm in an aspect of the hobby. Let's say like I'm doing Nitro and nobody does Nitro around here, or electric and nobody's doing electric, but yet I'm doing electric stuff. People are going to do what they want to do and what they love, but to make it easier, you got to kind of really do what area that you live in tailors to. Some people can have fun just being their own person and doing it on themselves. It always is much more fun with a crowd. Like for me, take example, primarily doing the Nitro stuff. There are a few areas in the city that are just open fields that I'll go to on the weekends and run my stuff and do some light bashing. The problem is I'll be running the only Nitro car out there, and it'd be one Nitro car, me, and there'll be 30, 40 guys out there with rock
electric
and all the Armas, and it'll be all electrics. The good thing about that is it brings a lot of attention to me because everybody all the electric guys have never really been into Nitro, have only seen them on TV or videos, but never seen it in person. So it's cool because they all want to come out and check out my stuff, try it out. They got a million questions and all that. But like for
I got a
me,
question.
go ahead.
Hey, when you say you had the infraction, right?
Yeah.
But when you had it, because I remember owning, because I'm a newbie too. Like I started last year, literally, and my first car was the Limitless. When you had that infraction, was it like what was? Did you feel like it was not something you was expecting?
It
Because
was.
you,
It was. I'll be honest. I still have it. It's sitting behind me. Pretty soon here, I'm going to be shipping it out to Joe Girding. I traded, matter of fact, I traded it off to Joe Girding for a fifth scale engine because I really wasn't using it. Matter of fact, I got that infraction. I ran it one time and never ran it again.
how'd you feel? How'd you feel? Why? Why not?
The one time I ran the infraction, I'll be honest, I loved it. It was a big thrill because it was so fast. But I also didn't like it on the flip side, and I'll tell you why. Me being primarily a Nitro guy, I have what's called a heavy throttle trigger finger.
Mhm.
What I found really quick with the infraction is that thing has so much torque and power that the way I run an RC car, it's basically just slam the trigger to the back of the pistol grip and just don't let off and go. You absolutely cannot do that with the infraction for the simple fact that the one and only time I ran it, I bought 2 brand new batteries, charged them up. I ran that thing for about 15 minutes.
Smoke the tires.
And I blew the tires clean off it. And when I went to when I went to the hobby shop, I bought another brand new set, and it cost me $70.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest. That is the only reason why I never ever ran that infraction again. It's got 1 15-minute run on it. I never even got to run I never got to run the batteries dry in it. And I said to myself, if it's going to cost me $70 every time I run this thing, that's going to be that's going to be an expensive RC.
But here,
No doubt.
No lie.
They have now the and this is not an advertisement. This is something I wanted to invest in. The new Spectrum remote that's coming out has this thing where it's even if you do pull the trigger, you can configure it to have it at, let's say, 30% throttle.
Yeah.
And at one point, at a certain point, it goes to that 100%. You still having that finger on that throttle. So
it's got curves on it.
Yeah,
it's got to have a curve.
That's going to be a Spectrum controller.
Yeah, that's the latest one that came out. It's got the colored LCD on it. The last one that came out. I read the that portion that tells you everything about the remote.
Right.
But it has it, and I'm not sure if there's more. I'm pretty sure there's more remotes that do that. But you can configure the throttle from punch, even if you have it set at, let's say, at the highest level on the ESC. You can still configure the control to tell it to give it that like 20, however you set it up, 20, 15%, 30%, and then after a certain millisecond or whatnot to give it that 100, so you won't do that burnout. And it's usually for drag racing, from what I read when I was reading it, and it'll go straight at first. And once, I'm pretty sure Coach HD could back me up on this. If I'm mistaken, beat me up. But yeah, it's really for drag racing.
You did Coach High Definition.
He called him Coach HD. Hey, that's your
my bad. Coach
HD.
DRC. My bad. Coach.
Okay, Coach HD.
Coach High Definition.
Yep.
You know, the funny thing is, if I remember correctly, I think Traxxas was one of the very first companies to put something like that out there. If you remember when they had the Traxxas funny car dragsters, they had a button on the side of the controller that you could flip a switch that was basically like a launch control, so that you could basically, when you went up to the line, the light turned green, you hammered the throttle, but it didn't give you 100% punch out of the hole. It gradually gave you like 20, 30%, and then you flip the switch to kind of come, all in to
Right.
keep you from, blowing the tires off the line. And yeah, I would think that's kind of something like what the infractions would need, the limitless, all them big speed run cars for beginners coming in like myself. Because I'll be honest, when I got that infraction, that was the first fastest RC that I ever had in my life. I can't think of anything ever that I owned was even close to what that thing was. You know what the
I
funny
tell
thing
you,
was is
I
that infraction also came with the what they call it, the speed, the extra speed pinion to gear it up
Yep.
to make it go even faster. I never even put that thing on it. I just, all I ever did was get it. I took it out of the box, charged up 2 batteries, put the 4 batteries in the controller, put it out in the street, and I ran it.
Yeah, Lee,
And
Lee G said it best on the thing. If those are the radio links and a lot of other controllers have throttle curves or curves for any setting, and for anyone who's not used to the throttle transition, setting a curve is the best thing you can ever do, so you don't smoke your tires or spin out as soon as you punch it. So
Yeah.
what RCK Studios was saying is basically a curve, so where you don't get 100% until maybe further back in that trigger pull than you normally would with the curve set flat. So that's a real good addition for any controller, and a lot of them out there have it. So
You know what
yeah,
else too? Now that you
I would
mention
definitely
that,
be one of those people that would need one of them without a doubt.
right,
the Castle Creations, the software lets you do that too. I just
yeah,
haven't been wise enough to configure it because the last time I tried to do something, my K8 didn't want to go nowhere. So,
yeah.
but yeah, I want to say that the Castle Creations does it with the ESE software that
You're
you
right.
install on your computer.
Because you can't do it from your phone. You have to do it from the PC, right? Can you
I
change it
well,
from the
I didn't try it on the phone. I installed it straight from the computer, so I can't say for the phone, but I can actually speak for the PC. There is one point where you can put it to where even if you do, it'll only go to a certain extent, and that curve you get to adjust it when you want.
right, right? Most
Hey,
definite.
and y'all make sure y'all check out. That's the giveaway for the night. Uh,
Well, not for the night. Oh, you are giving it away tonight.
it's
That's right.
giveaway tonight.
Oh, I forgot.
From
Oh
RC
man, hold
Hobby
on. Let me
Film.
put my name in the hat real quick. Hold
Say
on.
RC Hobby Film from RCK Studios and Mr. Mitos. They came together to give away this giveaway. So y'all stay tuned to find
Give
out
away
who
the
is
giveaway.
winning
That's
this
amazing.
infraction.
This dude has a way with words. Give away the giveaway.
The
It's
giveaway.
amazing.
It's the
Give
giveaway.
away the giveaway.
The giveaway.
It
Hey,
sounds
hey,
spooky,
hey!
man.
Don't it sounds spooky, Papa Smurf?
You know what? I need a censor button because I got some choice words for you right now, for real. I
Hey,
do some choice words.
Beep, 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 beep,
Yep,
beep.
you'd have thought I was in the Navy. I got something for you, brother. I got something for you.
man,
You're swearing like a sailor.
That's right.
well, I want you going upstairs and put on that white cap.
Sorry, it's red for that matter of fact. I have a
Well,
red one.
hey, you
Thank
got a
you.
white one, so put on a white one.
I ain't
We
putting
trying
on
to
a white
change it
one.
up for a minute.
Man, see, you need some help, some serious mental help.
No, I don't. I don't need the busy bone help. Okay.
Oh man. So I had another question. I just forgot what it was just that quick. See what
I'm
you
glad
did?
you forgot. Alekito talking, but we can't hear him.
Oh, is he? Oh, I gotta look at
Yeah,
the screen. You gotta pop me down. I can't tell.
Alekito back there talking, man. I can't
Oh, he
understand a
fell
word
out.
he's saying. Oh yeah, he
There
fell
he is.
out.
He's back in.
I'm in here. You guys hear
Okay,
me?
there he is. Yeah, we got you.
Okay, okay. I'm, I'm here just laughing in the back. You guys are crazy. Watch out
So
for them
Nitro,
landmines.
not too long ago. There you go. See now, see.
What
Anyway,
I
what you
had to.
say?
I had to,
What,
man. I can't.
what
I
you
he
say?
brought up landmine. See, that was last week's conversation, not this week's. Stop.
Landmines? What landmines?
Anyway,
Uh-oh.
moving right on. Nitro, I
Moving
saw one of your
around.
videos not too long ago. I think you were either you were rebuilding a motor or you were doing something. It was a live. You was doing a live doing it, and I was going to ask you, is there anything like for me when I build from the bottom up? I hate doing anything with linkages because I hate putting the rod ends on it, especially if they're plastic. Can't
Yeah.
stand it. So, is there anything about that process that you got to do it, but you really don't look forward to it?
I really can't say because I'll be honest. a lot of times I find myself, I have a lot more fun working on my stuff than I actually do running it. And I say that because I'm a very hands-on person. I love to work with my hands. It was always, like I said, back in the day, it was always a big fascination to me where I could take something that wasn't working and get it working or running or, usable. And, there's a lot of times, I'll spend countless hours working on stuff here in the shop. And, a lot of people will say, man, we'd like to see more run vids, and I get it. A lot of people want to see people running their stuff and bashing it. But one thing I've always told everybody, that's the good side of the hobby that you see. That's the fun part when you actually get to run your stuff. But there's also another side to it, the maintenance that has to be done, the building of a platform first and making it what it is at the end result, where you get to do the bash vids or the speed run vids on the final products. I'm very meticulous about everything I do. But if I had to say the only one thing that I hate in the hobby that I absolutely do not like doing is probably rebuilding diffs. That's probably the only big thing out of the hobby that I hate doing. I hate having to clean out all the old diff oil because like when I do my diffs and stuff, like I have a very in-depth process. Like them things have to be squeaky clean.
Yeah.
I do not want not even the slightest touch of old diff oil still in a case or on a gear when I'm gonna, put together a new diff before it goes into a race platform or a bash platform. So I go through some heavily cleaning processes at the stuff that I do, but that's probably the one big thing in the hobby that I would have to say that I hate doing. Setting up linkages and all that. It can be a challenge for some. I like that challenge. I've always been one of those type of people within the hobby. I don't like everything to be so easy. Yeah. And when I say that is because I like working on stuff. A lot of us look forward to when we buy a new platform. A lot of people will build it like right there in one night. Me, I try to stretch my stuff out because I guess the end result is you want to hurry up and get it put together so you can start running it and have fun with it. But for me, the build part is the most fun for me. And one of the reasons why I say that is in the past with different platforms that I've built, I've actually found things that were done wrong out of the factory that didn't mesh, didn't jive together. So that's where the whole modification aspect of the hobby comes in. Are you skilled enough or have enough knowledge to take whatever is not right, maybe take a Dremel and shave it down here, take a flat file and file it down here to get whatever it is that you're working on to fit smoothly, mesh together, slide and work freely without having to say, okay, I absolutely can't do it. I'm going to send these parts back, or I got to send the whole kit back and get a new kit. For me, that's the fun part.
Right. I can understand that.
Here's a question. I didn't mean to get off topic, but are the gears in the fifth scales the same as the ones on the fifth scales on the electric?
Exactly the same. So I'll give you an example. The Low C5T, the way that the Low C5T fifth scale truck is set up, it is an exact 100% replica of the Low C 4.0 TLR Truggy that was discontinued 3 years ago. It's a direct replica, only much more massive in size. That's all it is. It's just an oversized Truggy.
Listen, because I've been leaning towards getting anything that's operated as far as gas far, but I see myself breaking it as and I'm like, I can't.
I'll be honest. What I would recommend everybody getting into, if you want to get into the fifth scale hobby, I'm going to tell you like this: get you a Low C 5T. That thing is built like a tank. It is the most funnest fifth scale. I have a Baja as well. I kind of For new guys coming into the hobby, if you don't like to work with your hands a lot, the Roven Bajas, I would not recommend, because that is a platform out of the box that you basically have to Loctite everything. Like you take it new out of the box. You need to take every single nut, bolt, and screw and put Loctite on them because they fall apart. I've ran my 5T multiple times. Nothing is broken.
That's how I felt about my fifth scale after the skate park.
Yeah, nothing's broken, fallen off, messed up, or any of that stuff. I mean, to me, the Losi 5T it's a tank, it's a beast. I think that is probably one of the best, ready to go RTRs right out of the box that I think most people would be much more happier with. And even the stock 32cc Zenoa engine that it comes with, now it's not some big monster engine, but it is impressive for a stock 32cc engine that comes in it. It is no slouch. If there's one thing that I could recommend that I would tell anybody, the very first thing I would do if anybody was to buy the Losi 5T is buy an aftermarket tune pipe for it, and that's it. You get an aftermarket tune pipe for it, it wakes that 32cc up even more, and you're good to go. When you see a lot of people getting, when everybody starts getting into the modified piston ports, reed cases, the big bore RC Max stuff, you can worry about all that down the road. If you're, first time for very first fifth scale. Me, I went big right out of the gate, even though I was new coming into fifth scale. But I don't look at me as the new guy in fifth scale, because for one, the Losi 5T is a direct replica of the 4.0 Truggy. I already knew the chassis, knew the platform. I was familiar with everything in it. And I'm a big gearhead, and I know two-stroke engines like crazy. So any fifth scale, they all have two-stroke. I already knew that. I knew that before fifth scales probably were even popular. Back from my childhood days with snowmobiles, four-wheelers, three-wheelers, dirt bikes, anything two-stroke, four-stroke, all that stuff. I already had all that knowledge. So for me on the aspect of jumping into fifth scale, it was that much easier for me. And really, there's not a whole lot you got to do to them. The maintenance on them, on the fifth scale stuff is not like the eighth scale nitros. Fifth scale, to me, for newer guys coming into the hobby, personally, I think it's a lot easier than eighth scale nitro would be my opinion on it. You don't have to tune them as much. You can run them forever before they run out of fuel, and they're a lot of fun.
But if you was to buy one right now, which one would it be?
It'd be the Losi 5T, hands down.
Electric?
No, gas.
You know better than that. Come on.
It'd be gas. I'll be honest. It actually kind of I cringe a lot of times when I see these guys buying the fifth scale Losis, and the first thing they do is they rip the gas engine out of them and put the electric stuff in them. It's like, I get it, each to their own. Me as a gearhead, that's like a sin. It's like, why would you do that? And I look at it even from a fun aspect, why I would never take a fifth scale gas truck and convert it to electric, because you can just keep adding gas and keep running it and having fun. When your batteries go dead, that's it. You got to stop. You got to charge them, put them back in the platform, and then you go. I bring a 2-3 gallon gas can with me out to the field. I'm running that thing all morning, afternoon, and evening, as long as I got enough fuel on hand to keep feeding into that gas tank. I don't got to stop for anything. Even with most of them, the receiver batteries in them, you can buy such a big receiver battery that'll like last for damn ever. So, I mean, even though it still does have a battery on it, because you got to power up your servos for steering and throttle, but most of the receiver batteries that they produce for the fifth scales last a long time.
I mean, if I was to have a gas, I can see it right now, and it does about 50, 60 miles an hour. I'm gonna want to push it more, and that's when I know everything's gonna go downhill from there.
Trust me, I took a 5T, brand new out of the box. I never even ran the stock engine in it. I ran one tank of gas to start the break-in on it, and then I never finished the break-in. The engine came out, and I automatically out of the gate went to a modified engine. And then I pretty much tore down the whole platform, revamped it, modified everything, every aftermarket part on it that I could find. It's a crazy addiction. Just like with a lot of the guys that run the electrics. You guys have an addiction to make them go faster. The guys that do the no prep, you start out slow. Once you've had your fun with that, you want them to go faster and faster. It's the same thing with the fifth scales. The fifth scale addiction, it bit me hard right out of the gate. I'm already on my third engine in that thing, and I've only had the 5T 3.5 months. In the 3.5 months that I've had it, it's spent more time torn apart on my workbench being upgraded than I probably got to run it. But I'm done with it now to the point I just put
How fast you got it to? How fast you got it?
With this new engine, I don't even know, because I just put an RC Max engine in it, which is ungodly, not even comparable to anything that's been in it. I don't even know what this engine will do because I have not ran it out in a field yet. I finally got it in, did the build. I did put it out in the street, fired it up, did my break-in, ran it up the street once, and that thing was just roasting the tires off it, going sideways up the street. And I said, that's it. I'm not running again until I can get it out in the field.
So, Nitro, I got one more question, and it's more of a joke, so don't get mad at me. But do you secretly have or own a Toyota Prius?
No, I do not own anything Toyota. Everything, if you watch all my videos, everything that you'll see that I own is Chevy trucks. Now, my wife has a Nissan, what the hell is that thing? It's a Nissan SUV. I don't even know what it is my wife drives.
Well, I just figured you might secretly drive something electric 1-to-1 versus the scale cars. So, that's all I wanted to know.
Yeah,
every electric fan.
Yeah, everything 1-to-1 I have all has big engines in them.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I don't want you to pull up to an event. I'm like, who's this cat?
Wait
That's
a minute.
Nitro Freak. No, no way.
You see guys that do that.
Oh, yeah, true.
Those are electric.
Well, that's different. I mean, you ain't gonna drive that, Okay, that's different. That's different.
I can see myself right now trying to jump those little hills.
Just don't go in the skate park and blow your hip out like you did a couple weeks ago.
You got jokes. That's a good one.
Just saying, man. Just saying.
Oh, I'll be back, guys.
That fall in slow motion that was epic, bro.
Yeah, it was. It's part of the content,
still laughing about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious. I want to see what this new RC Max engine does in the 5T. I think I'm going to go to my local hobby shop tomorrow and pick up one of them GPSs that I can, mount to the frame, because I get asked that by everybody. Everyone's like, man, that's a massive engine. How fast will that thing go? And it's like, I don't even know. I just got done, finishing the build and getting the new engine in and everything. So I haven't got to run it, full bore all out across the field. And I'm, going to play around with the gearing. And it's like with anything else. You mess around with the gearing, is going to depend on where you get your speed.
I don't know.
Make sure you get the one with the Bluetooth to your phone too. Makes it
that's the one I'm going to get. Yeah, my local hobby shop carries those.
Hey, no yawning. Come on, you too young to be going to sleep already.
Who's yawning?
Icons, I can see the back of his throat, and that wasn't pretty. What's up with you, man?
I see the back of his throat.
We can't hear you, bro. I think you muted. Can't hear a word you saying.
Every time we do a live, I'm yarning. What is you talking about?
Every time you do a live, you're tired, bro.
Either that or
he know I'm tired, man. Listen, don't pay no attention to him.
You must be a little bent right now.
Nah, but like I was saying, I'm scared to get a gas, really. If I do get a gas, I'm gonna make sure to get a whatchamacallit stand for it, because I probably only run it one time. and if it breaks, that's where it's going after that.
You ready for that? You ready for that giveaway?
Yeah. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Oh, so you got a winner already, or what's the deal? Is it me?
Hey, I
So I'm gonna big him
man, you
up.
got too many
Oh,
subs,
it's
bro.
Nitro Freak. It
You
must be
got
Nitro. I know it is.
you
Get
got
him
too
that
many.
electric, bro.
You got too many subs, bro. All right, first and foremost, guys, I want to appreciate. I want to
Stop.
appreciate. No, real talk. All jokes aside, I want to appreciate Jay Sinister and Icons for giving me that platform to
Word up.
to reach out to everybody. That is first and foremost. I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at right now if it wasn't for Jay Sinister Productions. I say that in my first
My
video,
man.
and I say it forever. Okay, he inspired me to do what I do today, and it was just something that I knew I could do, but it just needed that little bit of talk of inspiration, and here I am chopping it up with what I consider one of the most best famous YouTube guys
Boom.
on YouTube platform, and
Word.
they granted me an opportunity to shine on their stuff, on their platform.
My
I
So
man.
appreciate
I
you,
That's
my
what's
brother.
up.
appreciate that a lot, a
I
lot.
No, we
appreciate you, man.
appreciate
Um,
you for real.
That's what's up. That's definitely what's up.
I'm just a regular guy. You know, I'm fortunate enough to do something like this, and I now I was straight in the way with more fortunate people that can help me reach out to others, and that's a great thing. That's always a
Hey,
great
we
thing.
we just a
So,
bunch of regular guys doing
right,
irregular things. That's all it is.
there was a couple things that I had to go through on this giveaway because, of course, beat me up if you want. It's cool. This is my first giveaway. There was a couple things I probably didn't mention, like there are more than few of you that have your subscription not publicized, so I can't see if you subscribe to me. You understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna address that from the jump. I can't. That's something that was based on this giveaway was the subscriptions and the comments. Everything else followed. You understand what I'm saying? As far as videos and whatever the case may have been. But it's hard for me to tell everybody who subbed because you guys are a lot on private. Another thing was I didn't address to if the giveaways was for the United States or not. So my bad. Again, this is my first
Postage.
giveaway. I'm not trying to send something to the UK. So if I'm gonna
Oh,
again,
postage will kill you, bro. Let me tell you. I've already been down that road.
so if you guys, if you're the one of the winners that is from out of the country, I apologize. I'll set myself up for something next year where I can cover that kind of cost. You know what I'm saying? Because it was just something I wasn't thinking about. I was just, hey, I got this money. I want to do this giveaway, and boom, here it is. I wasn't like, oh crap, what about if somebody wins it overseas? I wasn't thinking about that. So beat me up if you want in the comments. Another thing, uh, yeah, pretty much. That was it. That was pretty much it. Um, Mr. I'm going to announce the winner, guys.
Uh-oh.
First and foremost, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, Happy Holidays. I wish all y'all the very best. And this won't be the first or the last. Well, this won't be the last time you see RCK Studios, especially shining with my brothers in the back.
That's what's
Mr.
up.
Raymond E. Tanner, you are the winner of this Christmas
Oh,
holiday giveaway. Get your
Raymond
happy face
Tanner.
ready, Mr. Raymond E. Tanner. You are the lucky winner, guy. Let's hear it for Raymond E.
Hey,
Tanner.
Definitely
Okay.
congratulations
congratulations.
to the winner.
All right, you've been on us, and there was a few of you, and I appreciate everybody who's been following. Really, I hope to see twice as much as inspiration as we, for those who were inspired by this giveaway to be inspired twice as much next time, because we're gonna keep doing this, man. We're gonna keep doing this. Raymond
For
E.
real.
And like
Tanner, get ready for that 3S power, baby.
I said before, man, like I said before, it might be a low C drag card up for a giveaway coming up next. So you might want to stay tuned for that.
Ooh,
Most definite. And in 2 days, if everyone that's been following my channel, I got that set of dually wheels from my man H Tech Customs for the Sin F450. We'll be picking a winner for that on 5 December. So another giveaway from the camp going out to the community because that's what we do.
That's what's up. That is what's up.
That's
Most definite.
what we do.
That's what we do. I
There's
hope you guys.
always a
Hey, and
few in the
Mr.
bunch.
Raymond E. Tanner, quick. I didn't want to take the platform again, but if you can, another thing that
Too
I
late, you
didn't
did.
include in the beginning, if you can make a video when you receive this, we will, all of us will highly appreciate it because it'll
Most
show
definitely.
the appreciation that you have towards what you receive pretty much. I hope you like it, man. Teal was my favorite color. You know what I'm saying? Jay Sinister does a great job installing everything, so you can see that. And Merry Christmas, guy.
RC Cave, my man. That was, you know
It
what?
looked like RCK about to cry over there, man.
I was about to say.
It looked like
I
he
was
was
going to
about
say,
to,
yeah.
about to cry.
Real quick.
I was
I was
going to
looking.
ask him if he had if it was
I was-
allergies or something. You know, we
I
men,
was
we don't
looking
cry.
for the
It's all
cam
allergies.
button so I could shut it off and go get me some tissue.
Yeah, he ain't want to give it away.
Right. He was keep it for himself.
Yeah, he wanted to cry over there.
Oh
Most
man.
definitely.
It's
RC
I
all-
Cave,
appreciate you
man.
guys.
Appreciate
Jay
that.
Sinister
It's going to a
icons,
good
really.
cause. It's going to a
I
good
appreciate
cause.
you guys for letting
And
me
like
share.
Cave said, this won't be the last. There's going to be plenty more on an annual basis. And so just stick around. We got more good stuff. And it's about supporting each other and supporting the community. That's bottom line. Nitro said it earlier. We don't want anything in return. We don't want any money. You don't even have to pat us on the back. We just want to do our part to give something back to someone who deserves, or anyone for that matter. Each one
Jay
teach one.
Sinister.
That's what it's about.
Exactly.
Sorry about that.
So steal
Raymond.
the platform again. Here he comes.
No.
Platform
It's
stealer.
actually towards you. Raymond, please get in touch with Jay Sinister Productions because he's gonna need your address.
Yep. Ray, if you follow me on IG, hit me up on IG with your address. Don't put anything in the
We'll take
comments.
care
We
of
don't
you.
want that out.
Jay Sinister, bill me for the shipping.
Oh, I am. I'm going to overbill you.
This is brand new, never been ran. Brand new.
And you know that's
Oh,
a fact because Icons doesn't run a damn thing he has.
This is
Clean.
brand new, never been ran. So
I would like that.
Look at that. So have you decided what the requirements are, or is that forthcoming?
it's forthcoming. I haven't decided yet.
Okay, dig that.
Me, in my opinion, I think that's one of the most beautiful platforms ever released. Just because I'm so partial to Camaro body styles, I think that was like one of the greatest electric RCs ever released.
Yeah,
Oh, she's pretty, no doubt.
yeah, it is.
I was gonna get that, really. I was gonna get that. But the roller one. But then I was looking at the Sen and I said, you know what, let me get the Sen. And I was too late when I went to get the Sen. And I'm still left with the option of getting that one. But now Trax has dropped that Supra, which
Yeah, I saw that.
definitely need in my life because
Hey, I'm going with you on that. I'm thinking about the same thing.
because I got rid of my last Fortec 2.0 and I regretted it the minute I let
That's
loose
what's in
of
the
it.
background right there spinning around.
What?
Oh,
In whose
yeah?
background? Yours?
Yeah, that's the Fortec back there.
Oh, I can't even see it. All right.
Yeah, and it comes in the 3.0, right?
Yeah, I've
It's
got
a
the
new
3.0
one,
vet
3.0.
body. Did Icons pass out? I missed that. Did he fall asleep? What happened? No, I turned my head and he was gone. Oh, there he is. Okay, I thought you may have your bowl fell in the cereal bowl. Your face fell in the cereal bowl.
I thought you wanted to get a good look at that Fortec back there. That's all.
Yeah, that is nice. That body is nice. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about,
Gentlemen,
man.
do we have anything else for Nitro? Because I know he's got some things he may want to do, like sleep.
I got all night, guys. I'm here with
Okay.
y'all.
Word up. Just want to make sure we don't, we went to the electric again. We don't want to leave you out in the cold. We love our Nitro and Gas brothers and sisters.
Hey, like I tell everybody, you don't really don't see nothing electric on my channel, but I love watching all your guys' because that's how I learn about it. I'll be honest, I'm really, really out of the loop with all the new electric stuff that's out. I'm always so busy with the fifth scale stuff and the Nitro stuff that I don't really look at a lot of the electric stuff like I probably should. But I'm working up to that, and that's why I like a lot of your guys' channels. Even though I don't run electrics like you guys do, I love seeing it all. It's
Well,
just like, when they
if
released the Losi Camaro there. Even though I'm not a big electric fan, that right there is my dream electric to have. Like I said, I've got the infraction, but I could have more fun with that Losi drag car than I do with the infraction.
I tell you one thing, when this is how serious I was about the gas thing. This is the reason why I subbed to your channel a long time ago. Because I was really thinking about getting me a gas platform, but I didn't know anything of it. And I tuned into your channel and I was like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. He's got this fifth scale here, and it's I mean, of course everybody's got videos like this, but it was just like, okay, let me just stick to one thing that I don't know, that he looks and he sounds like he knows a lot. So let me just stick to one. And from there, I've always been like on the two side of getting one, but
Yeah,
all
and
this other
that's one
stuff.
thing I always tell everybody. If you haven't checked out my channel, go check it out, because you never know what you're going to see on it. If you've got questions, you are more than welcome to hit me up. I will try to help anybody any way I can. I don't know it all. I know enough, to get me by and to help a lot of people. But like I always tell everybody, you ask me a question that I don't know, I'll get you the right answer. I know so many people in this hobby, guys that I run with and talk to on a daily basis. I mean, I've been fortunate. There's been many great guys that just on the fifth scale side of the house that have helped me out. I pretty much spend 7 days a week talking with Chris from 1/5 RC Garage, Big John D, John Bodegel, and I could sit here and name tons and tons of people that anytime I had any questions, everybody was always more than welcome with open arms to help me out. I do the same for anybody. I get a lot of people that are interested in the Nitro side of the house, fifth scale. And I'm not the only Nitro guy out there. I'm not the only fifth scale guy out there. But the difference with me and my channel and a lot of others, I like helping people. I'm one of those type of people that's a lot of my enjoyment out of the hobby, is helping others. With a lot of YouTubes, out there, they're out there just to show what they do, what they got, the money they can spend, and that's pretty much it. But like I tell everybody, it goes beyond that, because there's always going to be those new guys coming into the hobby, like with everything else, that don't know anything. They're completely new to the hobby. They see a lot of the cool stuff that all of us have. And those are the people that they're going to want to go to, because they're going to say, well, he's got that platform. That's the platform I want, but I don't know anything about it. So let me get in contact with this guy. I see he's made a dozen videos on it. He's done wrenching videos on it. He's obviously got it figured out. That's where a lot of these guys, if they run into a problem, don't know how to fix something or do something on it, that's where they get a hold of us. I've seen way too many YouTube videos where I've seen complete newbies get on someone's channel and ask a question, and that YouTuber demean them, put them down, make them feel stupid, and just say dumb stuff to them. And it's like, you know what? I don't get it why people do that. You weren't an expert, or none of us were experts when we came into this hobby. We're like most everybody else. We learned on our own, learned as we went. And if we couldn't figure it out on our own, then you pick the YouTube videos that, looked like these people knew what they were doing, and, you made friends and try to help you out along the way.
That's right.
But I'm always here to help anybody.
You got my attention. As soon as I walk through this door with a gas, you'll be the first person I hit up. Trust me.
I appreciate that.
Trust me, and you'll be the first person I hit up, because I know something's gonna break, and I'm not gonna know what the hell to do with it. and you see me like, hey,
Hey, I'll be
you're not
honest. I spend more time giving people my personal phone number, my email, and I tell them all the
that's
time.
that's
If I
great.
can't help you through a message, because you can really only help somebody so much through a Facebook message, a YouTube message, even Instagram. Me personally, I'm a face to face guy. I usually tell you, look, you got this problem. Hey man, here's my phone number. Call me whenever you got time, and I will sit with you an hour. If it takes 5 hours, we gonna get you straight up and running, get your stuff fixed, and get you going. And really, a lot of my time out of the day isn't getting to run my own stuff or wrench on my own stuff, because I spend a lot of time with people from my YouTube that have different issues that a lot of times, you can't help them through a message. You really got to talk to them face to face to see what's going on.
And
Yeah,
Bubbles just asked a
yeah,
question that
Bubbles.
we all can answer. Traxxas is a great brand for a noob,
Yes,
just based
It
off of the
is. It
parts
is.
yes.
availability alone.
And
Great brand for
personally,
a noob.
I was
personally,
actually,
anybody getting into nitro or
I,
electric, either one,
I was gonna do.
Traxxas to I'll tell you like this. You get a lot of people that will talk crap about Traxxas. Now, they're not the most durable platform out there, but that is one company, no matter where you go in any state, any town, to any local hobby shop, you're going to see a billion Traxxas parts sitting on a shelf. You have no problems getting any part for any of the platforms. And even on the Nitro side, I think the Traxxas stuff is probably one of the best Nitros to start out with for two simple reasons. One, their engines have a very big tuning window and are very easy to tune. The other thing is, if by some chance you do end up blowing up one of their engines, they have what's called the Traxxas trade-in program, where you won't have to go and buy a brand new 3.3 or the 2.5 at full price. You'll pay half price. You take your blown up engine to your hobby shop, you fill out a form, you give them your blown up engine, pay the difference, and they give you a brand new engine in trade, and then you get to do it all over again.
Here's a
Can't beat
question:
that.
does Arma make gas at all?
No.
No,
Arma
they're
doesn't
strictly
have
electric, far
anything
as I know.
gas.
No.
Yeah.
There is a gas powered Arma infraction that a guy over in the UK converted, which I thought was pretty neat. There's a couple of guys over in the UK that took the infraction and ripped out all the electronics out of it and stuffed the nitro engine in it. Man, it is wicked.
Huh.
Yeah, but they're the only company right now that doesn't have anything nitro. Traxxas, is really affordable. I mean, that's what I tell everybody. Traxxas,
What other companies are making electric cars? I mean, gas cars,
there's not a whole lot out there. There's not a whole.
right?
I mean, as a company themselves, ready to runs is pretty much Traxxas dominates the market.
Red Cat
Yep.
doesn't make anything.
Who's
No.
that?
Oh,
Red Cat.
no, I don't
Yeah,
think Red Cat has any.
Red Cat has the Volcano. They've got like 3 different nitro monster trucks that I know of. I think they
I didn't
might
know
even
that.
have an on-road car as well.
Hey, my next door neighbor has a Red Cat, like a buggy, but it's like 5th scale, but it's one of those buggy type cars.
Red Cat makes a 5th scale monster truck, and I think they have an on-road car as well.
Yeah. You seen the crawler they made? They just got out not so long ago.
No.
Oh, what was it? Oh,
Talking about that Jeep, talking about
yeah, the
green
crawler
Jeep. I can't think of the name of it. Yeah.
Is that SXCT or something? That big
Oh,
$11
no, that-
one?
No. The new one
No,
that came out.
that's an
is,
Axial.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah,
actually.
that's the Axial.
Yeah.
Let me see.
All
if I
right,
can
everybody,
find
y'all
it.
know me. I'm only on for an hour. It's going on
Surprised you made
10:30.
it this long.
Yeah, we made it this long. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down. Hey, Nitro Freak, thank you for joining.
Most
not a problem,
definite.
man.
Thank you.
RCK, thank you for doing the giveaway today, man.
For real.
Jay Sinister, thank you for always being here. You know what I'm saying?
No,
Always
thank
support.
you, man. Thank you
Yo,
for
no,
all
thank
you
you
do.
guys. Thank you guys for having me. Really,
Hey,
I'm
just to
gonna
let
say it
just to
again.
let you guys know, I will be doing a live tomorrow. If anybody wants to come in and check it out, I know most
Oh, yeah.
everybody that's been following my channel now that I picked up one of the new RC Max engines. I'm going to do a live. We're going to do a walkthrough of the 5T, talk about all the different upgrades I've done to it, what I had to do to make it happen. We're going to talk about that monstrosity engine that's in it and all that good stuff. So for those of
So
you
we
guys
can
that
catch you. What time tomorrow, Nitro?
are,
Or is
I'm
it just going to
probably,
be you'll pop up?
I think I'm on the East Coast because I'm in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. So normally when I do my lives, it'll probably be between 6 and 6:30 in the evening.
So 7:30 Central, and then whatever else for the Pacific and Mountain and all them guys.
Yeah, for
Okay.
you guys that are out like the California area, you guys are like 3 hours behind
Yeah.
me. So when it's 6:30 for me, it's 3:30 in the afternoon for you guys. I try to do it a little bit late in the evening when it comes to a Saturday because I know a lot of people are out there doing stuff with their kids, taking them to the park or out doing whatever. So I try to time it where it's in the evening after everybody's home, had dinner, and can sit down and watch some YouTube.
Most definite. Sounds good. So everybody stop by tomorrow, check out Nitro Freak so you can get a little bit of that Nitro knowledge and a little bit of everything else. Everyone in the chat, appreciate you coming by. RC Cave again, thank you, my friend.
You're welcome, bro.
Icons,
Thank you.
get off the phone with your parole officer so we can close this out. We don't need your personal business on the
Why you
web.
being my parole officer?
That's who you was talking to. That's what I thought.
I
No,
don't
I'm just
need you
kidding.
to chill, man. I'm gonna
Hey,
I'm
He
gonna
I don't
checking
know
in.
about
He's
it.
now,
checking
man.
in.
He's checking
Hey,
in.
hey,
Hey,
thank everybody. Thank everybody for joining, man. Appreciate
for
everybody.
real. Had a
Yeah, I
real
definitely
good
just
time.
want to say thank you guys for
Please.
having me and allowing me to be part of it. I appreciate that, guys. We'll definitely have to
It
do
won't
this
be
again.
it won't be the last time, for real. Trust me.
Definitely.
All right. Happy holidays, y'all. Peace.
All
Same
right.
to
Happy
y'all.
holidays, everybody. Raymond E. Tanner, hit me up on Instagram so we can get this infraction out to you. And once again, thanks to Mr. Midos and my man RC Cave Studios for donating this brand new Arma infraction 4x4 Mega.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
There it is.